Every week, millions of people move home, and as it's one of the most stressful things that you'll do in life, you need to get it right. I'm Rebecca Jane, and together with the region's best property experts, we'll be giving you some top tips and expert advice, shining a spotlight on a different area from across the Midlands, and getting to know a little more about our guests and what they look for in a home. Property is ever evolving and always a fascinating subject. We'll guide you on what you need to know and what you need to look out for here on Midlands at Home. On this week's show, we'll be talking interior design and giving you lots of ideas and inspiration for your home. My guest this week is Rosalie Whitehead from oneoffinteriors.com. Rosalie, welcome to Big Centre.
Thank you for having me.
Another lady on the show, which is brilliant. And tell us a little bit about your company, oneoffinteriors.com.
We are a small interior design company based near the NEC at Coleshill in North Warwickshire. Two-person partnership. We've been operating for about 12 years.
Brilliant. How did you get involved with interior design? Is it something that you've always been interested in?
Yes, I think so. It came as a result of doing a project on my own property, extending and converting offices into living accommodation.
Yeah.
And then basically taking a qualification in interior design and moving it forward.
Off you went from there.
Yes.
Well, they're saying now that the stat was the other week that the average homeowner is staying put for 14 years, which is, it used to be 7 years that you'd move home. So there's never really been a better time to improve your home. But I think for a lot of people, they know sort of what they like, but it's where to start.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If you are staying put, you have to work out, first of all, which rooms you need to tackle, because your lifestyle changes. From a young married couple or a partnership, then if you have children, then they grow up. Your needs change, your requirements change completely.
Yeah, and it's having, I suppose, like you said, your lifestyle, that your decor and everything else, that it works and functions for you, whether you're a couple or a family.
Absolutely. There is a point at which design can spoil the utility of a scheme.
Yeah.
The first thing is to have something that works for the client.
Yes. And it's a decision, it's making your mind up as well, isn't it? Because there is so much on offer and there are so many different styles, which we're going to look at in just a moment, but it's picking something and knowing what you want when there is so much choice. We always ask clients to put together scrapbooks. Okay.
Or, if they are up with technology, to do Pinterest boards for us.
Oh yes, I've heard all about that.
Pinterest is brilliant because they can put together boards online, we can view them and see their ideas, then put some of our own together and send them, get the client to look at our Pinterest boards, and we can almost work out a scheme purely using Pinterest.
That's amazing, isn't it? Technology
it's fantastic.
Nowadays.
It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
And styles is a big thing, isn't it? Because we've got classic, we've got contemporary, we've got vintage. We'll break it down. We'll start off first of all with, let's start with traditional, a lovely traditional style of decor, which is still, popular for some, which you can just see here. We've got a bedroom, and you can see the before and the after shot in a traditional style.
Yes. Now, this was a situation where a client wanted to keep a traditional style, but wanted to make it a lot more of a wow factor, as they put it. We didn't go over the top. We had a beautiful bed that we could work with that they'd bought.
Lovely. And it is a beautiful bed, isn't it? Oak
it is.
Frame,
it's a beautiful oak frame bed. And we persuaded them to buy the rest of the furniture that went with it. We actually changed the size of one window to make the room better balance.
Yes.
And did a traditional window treatment.
Oh, gosh,
and it's worked out for them.
Yeah.
They're happy with it.
And I suppose sometimes you might want to push the boat out and have, say you did have that lovely traditional style, but actually you want to add in a little bit of contemporary. You can mix and match the styles a little bit, can't you?
Yes, we have a board on Pinterest, which is a mixing contemporary and traditional.
Okay.
So it's a very traditional room with one highly attractive modern piece in the middle, or vice versa.
Yeah.
A beautiful modern open space with one beautiful traditional chair.
Yeah.
It works well.
Yeah, and contemporary is something that actually a lot of people are going down the route of, a lot of open plan living, purely because I think it's a lot easier.
But there are lots of styles in that.
Right.
There is a modern contemporary, fairly standard look. And then you can get into industrial chic with lots of black metal and
minimalistic look.
You can get all sorts of... I do remember a programme where somebody had brought a whole Mini Cooper in and put a table on top of it. You know, they'd taken the wheels off. So there's all sorts of things that you can do and still have a contemporary look.
Yeah, and having something a little bit different, like you said, with that Mini Cooper. And I think that kind of brings on a little bit to the sort of vintage look, which is really, really big at the moment.
Yes, it is. And
sort of shabby chic and...
Yes, there's a huge selection of different products that you can use to get the right look. What is very, very popular at the moment is what they call chalk paints.
Okay.
And they're produced by many manufacturers, and the techniques are absolutely fascinating. I've already done one course on it, and I've got another one to do this next weekend. Shabby chic is not my preferred style, but we do have clients who like it. And it has to be done right. It can look too shabby.
Yes.
And not enough chic very easily. Very embarrassing.
Yes, definitely. There's an art to it, isn't there?
There is an art to it.
So it kind of looks like it's easy, but actually very difficult. I think, the vintage thing, I've had some friends that have had a vintage wedding and, all these kind of like really chintzy, cute little things around the home. It's very in, all the bunting. And
yes, bunting is very, very popular.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a retro look.
Yeah.
Really.
And
not a 70s retro, but a sort of 40s, 50s type of retro.
Yeah, definitely. And then and then we have the classic look. It's just timeless, it's elegant, it's beautiful.
Creams and golds.
Yeah.
Very traditional.
Yeah.
Nothing too much in your face.
Yeah.
Very comfortable to live with. And that's another thing that's very important, because if people choose a colour that they absolutely love, like I had one client who chose bright orange glass splashbacks for her kitchen.
Wow.
Now, I couldn't live with it, but she could. And you have to be able to live with what you choose.
Yeah, that's why I suppose is it nice to accessorise rather than having it as your dominating colour, but...
Yes, because you can change the feel of a room completely with the accessories that you use.
Yeah, and
you can have different colours at different times of the year. Warm reds and purples in the winter, nice spring greens and yellows in the spring.
And it hasn't got to cost you, the earth to change it either,
Absolutely.
which is the beauty.
Absolutely.
Now, the kitchen, it is the heart of the home, isn't it, I think, for anyone, really.
Yes.
And I suppose, there's a way of doing it on a budget, which we can see here, actually, in this photograph. So talk us through a sort of doing a kitchen...
On a budget.
On a budget.
On a budget is very much what can you keep. So if the cabinets are sound, there is normally no need to remove the actual cabinets, unless you've got very, very old, small size wall cabinets, in which case you're going to have to buy new ones. But we would always consider just replacing doors, doorknobs or handles and worktops. And that works really well. With a new sink and a nice tap.
Exactly.
It works fine.
And then you've got the other end of the spectrum where you do put in an all singing and dancing fancy kitchen.
Hand-painted, yes, extremely.
Granite.
Yes. Granite is a really interesting product, and it's not the most practical for worktops, in my humble opinion. But composite worktops are absolutely superb.
Yeah.
They can be cut to fit the exact space.
What are your favourite type of worktops?
It would be a composite.
Oh, okay.
There's lots of people who make composite worktops, and they can be moulded to go up behind your worktops as a splashback.
They're really popular now, aren't they, these splashbacks?
Every colour you can think of.
Yeah. And then you can get away with a lot of tiling, can't you? I mean, some people do just go for the splashback and that's it.
Yeah, you don't need the tiles.
Yeah.
No, you don't necessarily need tiles.
Yeah.
You can get coloured glass as well. You can make your own, back to economy, splashbacks made with clear perspex with wallpaper behind. Absolutely fantastic.
Gosh, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, very easy. Just a roll of wallpaper.
Yeah, very nice.
Put it on the wall, put a piece of acrylic sheet on top.
Yes, I like that. It's a good
Put
idea,
it up with mirror screws, and you've got a cheap, beautiful looking splashback.
Yeah. And I suppose the same with your bathrooms. You can do it on a budget, or you can do the fancy bathroom.
Yes. People do tend to go for fashion in bathrooms. Waterfall taps, for instance, which look fabulous.
They do.
They look wonderful, but they're really, really difficult. They don't mix the water, so you have a half the stream is hot and half is cold, and they can, especially with children in the house, they can be an absolute nightmare if they turn them on too full. The water is right on the floor.
Yes, so it's thinking practically, isn't it?
Practical consideration in bathrooms.
Yeah.
The flooring is all important. We still see people who have carpet on their bathroom floors.
Oh, really?
It still exists, yes.
Gosh, yes, not the most hygienic, is it? But
Not at all. It's absolutely horrendous.
And what styles are you seeing that people are going for? Is there a particular style? I heard the Moroccan style was very in, with lots of little tiles
the tiny
colour.
tiles. There is everything from the most beautiful, sumptuous copper baths, teak wood baths,
Oh, right.
silver-plated feet on baths, right the way through to a standard do-it-yourself store suite.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't matter. It's what you like.
Yeah, there's just so much choice, isn't there? It's kind of where to start.
Yes, absolutely. There's far too much choice, which makes life very difficult for people.
Yeah, doesn't it? I mean, after the break, we're going to be talking about bedrooms, hallways. We've got loads to talk about, plus also staging, which is another really important factor.
Very
isn't it?
important.
Yeah, which we'll be talking about very soon. So don't go anywhere. Maybe grab yourselves a cup of tea, and I look forward to seeing you in a few minutes. We'll be giving you lots more inspiration and loads more ideas for your home. So see you just then. Take care. This week's spotlight area is Tyseley. Tyseley is a district in the southern half of the city of Birmingham, near the Coventry Road and the districts of Small Heath and Yardley. It was once a thriving industrial area, with thousands of people working in the area for major companies. Much of Tyseley remains industrial, with many companies still basing themselves in the area. Tyseley also contains many Victorian buildings that housed many of the manual workers, reflecting the heritage of the area and the city. One of the local attractions is the Tyseley Locomotive Works, located inside a large railway depot. They hold many open days, giving eager train spotters and visitors the opportunity to see some fantastic vintage trains. Tyseley is now a popular furniture retail destination with over a dozen furniture retail outlets. So, if you're after a new three-piece suite, you've certainly got plenty of choice. Property styles in the area really vary through the eras, and in terms of price, a typical 3-bed semi will cost you around about £175,000. So, in terms of being within 5 minutes of the city centre of Birmingham, property is fairly affordable. I love seeing so many different properties and so many different styles, which, Rosalie, you must see on a daily basis with your job.
Absolutely. Everything from mansion houses to small terraces and bungalows, and they're all individual and they all have some charm, definitely.
Yeah. Fascinating
Yeah,
world of interior design.
Yeah.
Now, a big sector to cover is, of course, home staging, which is American, isn't it, that name, home staging?
Well, it came over many years ago on a television programme with a particular person who was called the House Doctor.
I remember that.
I did some training. I'm a consultant on their network. And the idea is that a property will sell quicker and for better money if it actually looks decent.
And that's proven, isn't it, as well?
Oh, absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. It is. The statistics show that about 75% of the population cannot see what a property can look like when they walk in. All they see is what they see. They cannot see anything else.
That's why they say when you sell your home, if you've got a bedroom, put a bed in it. If you've got a dining room, put a dining room table in it.
Yes,
it sounds basic, but actually...
tricks like putting a double bed in a room that would normally have a single bed in. If a double bed will fit, put it in there.
Oh, OK.
And there's all sorts of... so home staging really starts from the outside, though.
Yeah.
I believe we've got some pictures of...
We have. We're going to show you
after.
some exterior shots, because actually it's really important, because that's your first impression. You'll often do a drive-by and then you'll make that decision on whether you're going to even go and make an appointment on that alone.
Even with technology now, people don't even bother with drive-by.
No,
they go
true.
on to Street View.
Yeah.
And they look at a property from the outside, and if it looks a mess, they don't even
So what
go.
do we need to do then? Mow the lawn, trim?
First is to have a house number or name that is visible, so when people are looking for the property, they can spot it.
Yes, that sounds so basic,
it's
but
very
so
basic.
True.
How many times have you looked for somewhere and you can't find the number?
Yes, very true.
We have a big problem in this country with the number of refuse bins that we put outside each house. So if you have 3 or 4 bins, somehow find a way of shielding them.
Yeah.
If you can.
They are ugly, aren't they? Let's face it.
Yeah, absolutely. Mown lawns, no rubbish outside, no dead plants. Clean down your paintwork if you can't afford to have it renewed. Make sure that you've got a doorbell or a door knocker that actually works. Paint your front door a nice bright colour.
Polish your brass.
Absolutely. Generally have a look at the other houses around you and see if you can make yours look better.
Yeah.
That's the secret.
Yes, and then, then you're going to attract the right people. And then we talk about the interior then. What do we need to do? Because, I mean, this is a big subject, isn't it? Where you think your house is perfectly... Well, it looks fine to me. I'm quite happy with it. But actually...
Yes, it's very easy if you live in a property for a long time to lose a sense of independence. You see your property as you wish to see it.
Yes.
And somebody will open the front door and look down the hall and see a pile of shoes and Wellingtons and think, there's no space in here. So the first step in the house is really decluttering. If you're going to be moving, the secret is to say, what am I taking with me? And if I'm not going to take it, then let's sell it on eBay or junk it.
Good old eBay.
Or charity shop it.
Yes.
Do something with it, but get rid of it.
Yeah.
And don't think that you can hide it in a cupboard, because most people who look round houses open all the cupboards.
Yes, they do. Well, I've been moving at the moment, actually in the process myself, and yes, they open every single cupboard. And we hired a builder skip and filled it right to the top from stuff from the loft, from the kids that just accumulated over the years. So declutter, depersonalise, but it's just, I suppose, not going too far with it, that it's still homely, but not just overcrowded with stuff.
I think there are a couple of things that I would say would be really quite important. One is the bathroom carpet that we mentioned before the break. If you have got bathroom carpet, I think you might be able to afford to get a little bit of lino or something similar.
It is so cheap nowadays to put down a bit of
just
vinyl,
put down a bit of vinyl on the floor. Get rid of the smelly old carpet. Tidy and tidy. Kitchen must be spotless. Bathroom must be spotless. No piles of dirty washing. I have a friend who is an estate agent, and before a viewing, she always goes to the property, goes in, picks all the dirty washing off the floor.
Oh no, really?
Tidies it away. And then when the viewing is over, she then puts the dirty washing back on the floor where she found it.
Oh gosh, is this a particular house or is this just a general rule of thumb?
A general thing.
Do you know, that's shocking, isn't it? Really.
But people are always in such a rush. They have very busy lives. So they don't necessarily tidy up as they go.
No, and it is amazing what you see. I know when we viewed houses and you walk around, and some houses literally you walk in and you think, just get me out of here. And then other houses are beautifully presented. It's
absolutely. I think it's a difficult one because for an estate agent, this is a dilemma. If you want a sale, you don't tell the prospective client that their house needs work. You might upset them.
Exactly.
They don't want to be told that.
No.
And as an example, I did one particular Sunday morning visit to a client. It cost the client all of £150. The house hadn't sold for 3 months. It sold the following week. All I did was give them a simple list of jobs to do, which they did, and it was gone. The house had gone. It went.
Wow.
It's
amazing
simple.
what staging
does. It's very simple.
And we've got some before and afters, actually, that you can see here. And the transformations are just incredible. Just by staging it, bringing in furniture, it's an empty room, and all of a sudden, it's a beautiful, livable space.
The only thing to watch on that is if you're bringing furniture in, is to make sure that the furniture fits the price of the house.
Right.
If you're selling a small 2-bedroom terrace property to a first-time buyer, IKEA is fine.
Yes.
But not if you're selling a 4-bedroom property. You can hire furniture, but in general, most people have got the furniture they need.
Yes.
All they need to do is rearrange things.
And actually, it's amazing by rearrange. Like, some people will put a chair blocking a door, and it's just the simple things, actually, that can give you such, it changes the whole way that a room flows.
And I think that one of the contentious issues is animals.
True. It's the animal smell, isn't it?
It's really difficult, that one, because everybody loves their pets.
And you can't always smell your own pet when you go, oh no, my house doesn't smell of dogs, but then maybe to somebody that doesn't have dogs, it stinks of dogs. So that's definitely
But an
quite a big
estate
area.
agent isn't going to tell you that.
No, very true.
So you need to find someone who's a really good friend, really good friend, and has the courage to say, actually, you should do something about this.
Yes, because with a bit of carpet cleaning, it does come out, doesn't it?
It does,
So,
absolutely.
Now, what about colours? This is a big, big topic, whether you're just living in the space yourself and you want to change your colour scheme, or whether you're going to make it more saleable. So Where do we
Right.
start?
Okay, if you are making a property more saleable, staging for sale, the answer is neutral is best. So, at the risk of being boring, if you've got a can of magnolia, use it. If you have a can of white, use some in your bathroom.
Yes.
And keep it to a neutral palette. Now that's for staging. Now if you're talking about colours for a property that you're living in, that's a totally different kettle of fish. You can research on the internet. There is a lot of guidance on what colours to use depending which way your rooms face.
Okay.
And you and I had a brief discussion about whether we should use colours that reflect your personality and your lifestyle.
Yes.
By all means, if you want to have a deep red lounge because that really rocks your boat, then do it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And
If
is
you
there
love
just do it on a feature wall or do it with accessories? Is there a way that, you know, we should be working with dominant colours? Or
I would suggest that 4 deep red walls might work in a dining room that you only use in the evening.
Yeah.
But other than that, maybe a feature wall is probably enough.
Yes.
But in general, keep blues and pale greens away from north-facing rooms.
Okay. Yeah.
And
makes
don't
sense.
use too much bright orange
Yeah.
or reds because they are incredibly dominant. If you must buy a dark wallpaper, be aware that you're normally going to show a line where the pieces of wallpaper join.
Oh, okay.
So get a felt pen out in the right colour
Yes.
and go down the wallpaper join. So
That's
it
a good
doesn't
idea.
show.
I like that. A felt
Well,
pen. Brilliant.
it's a black wallpaper is notorious for that.
Yes.
And there's lots of very funky wallpapers around which have black on them. And
Yes.
it just needs tidying up.
Yeah.
But colour in general, do what you like, but if you're staging your home, keep it neutral.
Excellent. I'll remember that. Got lots and lots of ideas. Look forward to seeing you next week for more on Midlands at Home.